Hey everybody, this is D Hunter bringing another action figure review. Today we're looking at the NECA Trick or Treat Ultimate Sam action figure. This is a character named Sam. Really not sure what he is. Some sort of weird Halloween creature made of pumpkin. Protects Halloween, tradition or whatnot. He's from a film that came out in 2007 called Trick or Treat. It was sort of a bunch of short stories that ended up all sort of intertwining. And this Sam guy here seems to kill or hurt anybody who does anything to sort of violate the tradition of Halloween. The front cover here, Trick or Treat, Ultimate Package, you can kind of see there's all the other characters from the film on the background on both sides. Trick or Treat. On the side here we got Sam sitting there, Trick or Treat. Other side, pretty much the same thing. The top, Trick or Treat. On the bottom, there is a barcode in case anybody needs it, as well as a bunch of credits. And the back side here, see Sam sort of just sitting there. Here he is sitting down, close up of his face. His mask off, looking pretty terrifying. And then here's another one of his heads. So this is a NECA Ultimate figure. They've made a retro cloth version of him, but I have no interest in that particular scale or line. So you can open up the front here, has some sort of Velcro. Inside the front flap, you can see Sam. And then here he is with all of his accessories. Looks like he's got a whole bunch of heads, whole bunch of hands, a couple of weapons, and some Jacko Lanterns. So with no further ado, let's open this guy up. Alright, now that we got this figure out of the package, here he is with all of his accessories laid out. And he does come with quite a bit. He's one of NECA's ultimate offerings. Looks like he's got a total of 4 different heads, counting the one that's on him now. He's got 2 jack-o'-lanterns. He's got 2 additional right hands, totaling 4 hands. He's got 2 weapons, one being a chocolate bar with a razor blade inside of it, one being a broken, sharp lollipop. And then he also has a big bloody bag of candy, or possibly something else. But before we look at the accessories, let's check out the actual figure. So this guy here, a little burlap sack on his head, that weird smile, those eyes, just pretty creepy, pretty weird altogether. Honestly, not even really sure what this guy was supposed to be, just some kind of monster for Halloween. He's in a kid's sort of pajama set. You can see it's got some patches on it. He's even got the butt flap on the back. I like the detail on the legs. This is a smaller guy, sort of kid size. Pretty cool figure. It's a shame he didn't come out before Halloween. And then here he is, broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable parts detached. I noticed that even though he doesn't come with any alternate left hands, his left hand popped out just as easily as his right hand. So next, let's check out all of his accessories, starting with his hands. So here he is with the hands he came with, his default hands. His left hand will always be the open, relaxed hand. This one here, his right hand, is semi-open, a gripping hand. This can hold one of his larger weapons, it looks like. Here he is with another gripping, semi-open hand. This one is a little bit smaller of a hole and should be able to hold a smaller item. His next hand here is not able to be attached to his body. It is a severed hand. Just like in the film, he got his hand shot off or cut off and then ended up walking around, unplugging the guy's phone and reattaching itself to his body. Pretty cool accessory to have. You can definitely take his hand, pull it out, and reenact that scene from the film. And then here's his severed hand next to another recently released severed hand from NECA. This one is from the It film, Georgie's hand. Next, let's check out his heads. He does have a total of 4 of them. One of them being his sort of standard head. One of them with his head with his mouth there ripped open. One his standard monstrous head. And then one his damaged monstrous head. Here he's with his standard head. It just looks so weird. The fact that it's just smiling, 2 little eyes there, that makes it creepier than if it was a scary mask. You see it's made of burlap sack. I like the way it looks, very Halloweenish, and the colors definitely fall. Here he is with his next head. This one here is when the old man started to rip open his mask to see who he was, kind of ripped the mouth part open. As you can see, it actually has the monster head inside of there. And honestly, if you pull it back, you can see they sculpted the majority of the head, which is pretty cool. Here he is with his first monstrous head. Now, beyond just being a monster, I don't really know what this guy is. I just sort of got the impression from the film that he was sort of protecting the essence of Halloween. Anyone disrupting tradition or whatnot would be killed. And then when he got shot, it's almost like pumpkin pieces came out of him, little stringy stuff and seeds. And he kind of looks like a pumpkin, the way they have those lines on him. So, I guess it's appropriate for the essence of Halloween, if that's exactly what he is. Now, his face is pretty creepy looking. I don't know, kind of makes me think of a gremlin a little bit, almost. I don't know. He does have some pretty cool mouth articulation, which I think is pretty nice. And then here he is wearing his final head. This one's here. It's got a little bit of that. His innards kind of coming out, a little bit damaged or whatnot. And this one here, the mouth is also articulated. Next, let's check out his weapons. On the left here, we've got a lollipop that he took a bite out of and left really sharp edges, sharp enough to cut somebody. And then on the right, we've got a candy bar that he stuck a razor blade into. One of those horrific Halloween stereotypes. Here he is holding the jagged lollipop. And then I went ahead and swapped out his gripping hand to his larger gripping hand so he can hold this candy bar here. Like I said, it's a Halloween stereotype, one of those scary type things, razor blade and the candy. And then he comes with this big bag or pillowcase full of candy, although from the looks of things, this one doesn't have candy inside. Here he is dragging this thing down the street, no one's suspecting a thing. And next, let's check out his final two accessories, two Jacko Lanterns. Jacko Lanterns were a pretty big part of the film. There were people smashing Jacko Lanterns, stealing them, offering them up for 8 dead children. Then there was a home with a whole bunch of Jacko Lanterns, and they got moved to the old man's house at one point. So this one here, pretty basic looking Jacko Lantern. Got the teeth carved in there, triangles for the eyes and the nose. This one doesn't actually have any functionality, doesn't light up or anything. It is kind of hollow on the inside. I wish you could put a light in there. Then we've got this one here. It's got X's for the eyes, sort of stitched up looking mouth. This one here has flame coming out the top, and if you push it in, it does light up, which is pretty cool. And here's how this jack-o'-lantern would look if you turn all the lights out and use the light up feature. And while we're on the subject of jack-o'-lanterns, here they are with several different Halloween jack-o'-lanterns from Michael Myers films. And then speaking of jack-o'-lanterns, now that we've taken a very good look at his accessories, next let's check out the height of this figure. So this guy here from bottom to top is sitting at about 4 3/4 inches, which translates to about 12 centimeters. Now even though this guy is just under 5 inches tall, he's actually for the 7-inch scale, as this creature was sort of child size in the film. Next, let's check out this guy's articulation. So his head here can go around from side to side, and it can look up and down quite a bit more than I expected. Shoulders on a ball joint, it can go out a little bit more than 90 degrees, which is pretty nice, up, down, around. His elbows here, they're double jointed. There is a piece of plastic between it, which has articulation which can go up and then up a little bit more on the bottom part. And it is swivel on both the bottom and the top. His wrist here, it can go around and it's hinged as well. He's got absolutely nothing going on in the center here, just one solid piece. His legs, they can go out this far. There is a ball joint inside of there, and the leg can move independently of the ball joint. So the ball joint allows it to go outward like so, and then forward about that much, back really not at all. In addition to that, the leg can move away from the ball as well. His knees, single jointed, go out just about 90 degrees. And there is a swivel at the top as well. Then his foot here can go up and down. And then it can tilt and rock as well. Next, let's check this guy out compared with some other action figures. Let's start off by looking at him compared with some other horror figures. Here he is next to a couple of werewolf figures. In the film, werewolves were sort of relevant, although their story didn't seem to tie in with his too much. Here he is next to a Freddy and all the different Jason figures that I have. Here he is next to my entire Halloween collection. We've got Laurie Strode, Dr. Loomis, and a few different Michael Myers. Here he is next to a few other horror icons from NECA. And don't forget the little people. Here he is next to a few different Chucky and Tiffany figures. They're a little bit even shorter than he is. He definitely reminds me of Scarecrow, both of them wearing a burlap sack around their head. Next, let's check him out compared with some other action figure lines to see how he fits in both scale and style-wise. Here he is with some of his NECA brothers. These are NECA action figures from several different action figure lines. These are the size of figures that he's intended to go with. He scales up the way he was in the movie next to these guys. Here he is next to some Diamond Select or DST action figures. And then here he is next to some McFarlane Toys action figures. Then here he is next to some DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures. Here he is next to some Mattel wrestling figures. Here he is next to some Mezco 1/12 cloth soft goods action figures. And then here he is next to some Mattel, DC Universe Classics, and Multiverse figures. And then here he is next to some Mafex action figures. And then next to some Hasbro Marvel Legends. And then here he is next to some SH Figure Arts action figures. So overall, this is a pretty cool action figure. I must confess, I'd never seen the movie, and as I was getting this figure, because I liked the way it looked, I went ahead and watched the movie. I'm not going to say I loved it. It was okay. Not really sure why it has such a cult following. I honestly don't quite understand what this guy is, but it's a really cool figure, and I'm going to find a lot of uses for it in my action figure world. Do wish I could have got this figure before Halloween. That would have made it a little bit more appropriate. Some icing on the cake there. If I were to rate this figure, I think I'd go ahead and give it a 7 out of 10. He's pretty cool for what he is. Visually, very pleasing. I like the colors. I like the burlap sack. The accessories are fun. The Jacko Lanterns are a whole lot of fun. I can find a lot of uses for a bloody sack. Overall, pretty cool action figure. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.